Questions. We got.
Coach, 52-point win, got a bunch of guys in. You feel like you accomplished everything you needed to today?
Yeah, we got a lot of guys that just about everybody that made the trip played, except for the guys that were emergency guys, and we're trying to redshirt a couple of those old linemen. And then we got through the game without Mike Matthews playing, which gave him another week on that ankle, but he could have played. Ivan Robinson got through without him playing. Jordan got in there a little bit, but got him out early. But the positives were getting some guys back, getting through the game with some starters that will give them another week to stay fresh, and then the return of some players. I think you see where Sean Washington can really help us, and a big athletic, rangy guy that gives us depth at linebacker and creates some negative yardage plays. So, all in all, I got to look at the video, but we had some young guys, particularly in that second half, play a lot of football that we're going to need them down this stretch and, against these SEC opponents.
Can you talk about jumping on a team early, especially when they got a new coach coming in, a lot of changes going on, things like that, and you guys were able to come up with 17 in the first quarter, 38 by halftime?
Well, that's kind of been our MO, regardless of the situation. We want to start fast, and if there was a disappointing part of this game, was starting the game with 3 straight penalties on three straight plays. And I thought, the things that we talk about going into the game, third down percentage, I thought we were pretty good offensively. What were we? Up until that last quarter, we were pretty good on third down with the backups in there, and then defensively, 7 of 19 is pretty good. What's that? 30-some, 40%, something like that, in the 30s. So, those are the things that we need to accomplish as a football team, the way we play, with no huddle and up tempo, third down, staying on the field, getting our defense off the field on third down, and we've been doing a pretty good job of that. Been giving up some yards, but point total has been down. The other thing is turnover margin, and we're negative now. We didn't get any turnovers today, I don't think. And we gave one away. So that's 2 weeks in a row where we've lost the turnover battle. So, the things that we're continually work on, penalties, our turnover margin's got to improve, and those are things we're aware of, but, players play, and they understand that, and third downs. So we accomplished some things, but we still got to improve in those areas I just talked about.
Kevin, when you learned about your team after these first few games?
I think, we've got a lot of guys that can play.
As good as advertised, though.
I don't know who's advertising. So all I know is we play the games. So, that's I don't know. You make that judgment. All we do is go out and play and try to win. And the more you win, the more things build every week. The more important each game becomes. We get back in the league play this week. Like I said, I think we caught a break with the 2:30 start, which kind of duplicates our week this week as far as travel. We just got a different hotel, different venue. But for these young guys, playing an earlier game changes things. We've been sitting around the hotel for the last couple of weeks, played at 8 o'clock, played at 6:30. It's a long day Saturday, and it changes for those guys. So it was great practice for next week in that 2:30 game, which is a big time slot, for our program and for national television.
How deep is this group of receivers?
Considering Speedy didn't even play today, yeah, we got guys that want to play, and we've got Malcolm, who got in there, did his thing, and we got him out, and it's across the board. What we're trying to do is develop depth across the board, and I think recruiting, we've done that in everywhere right now, but at linebacker. And we've had a couple injuries that really thinned us out a couple weeks ago with AJ and Sean. And I think you see the importance of Sean coming back today, which gives us some added depth. But Sean is a big physical guy like AJ was, which, when you have an injury like that or two, things drop off. And the way this league is, those things are going to happen. So our receiver position is good, but, we play all of them. And they like playing just like running back. Our guys, they understand to play the way we play. in an up-tempo style and try to get as many plays as we can. Those guys are running like crazy. So, you know, we've got to be deep, 8 deep to play games. And I think right now we're pretty close to that.
You mentioned Malcolm, and he made the big third down catch early. I know not necessarily someone that everyone thinks of that way, making that kind of catch, but how valuable has he been for you guys?
He's been valuable since we've been here. You know, I think people forgotten about the catch against Alabama 2 years ago. That was a big play. You know, he's a leader. He's a senior. He's been in big games, and you know he's able to communicate with these younger guys about how the game is really played because he's made big plays in big ball games. And so a lot of these guys, even though they're talented, haven't really been that. You know, including Ricky. You know, Ricky played and got hurt last year. You know, he's playing his way into it with the exception of South Carolina. That's really the biggest game Ricky's ever been in, or Speedy, or a lot of these guys. So his experience is critical for our success because of a young quarterback and really the only guy who's been in big-time games under pressure to make those types of plays.
Yeah, you think you might have found a guy in Daryl Jackson, or is it too early to tell?
It's too early. I mean, he's a guy that you're talking about the last scholarship, you know, guy. It usually happens that way, you know, the guy that was just out there, played 1 year football, 1 year junior college football, and was a safety in high school, and just an athlete at Madison, you know. And then, you know, we had an extra scholarship going into the summer, and you know, he's a big, long, athletic guy that plays real hard, and you know, he's an undersized guy. He needs to eat and lift weights, but he's got tools, and you know, he doesn't have a red shirt year. So you know, he's 4 for 4 because he played 1 year, and, or 3 for 4, whatever that is. So he's, you know, we can't. So we put him in there, and he can, you know, he can rush the passer. Now they run right at him. I don't know what's going to happen. That happened a little bit tonight too, but he's got some tools, and he's a guy kind of like Day-Day, like Deshaun Hall, that, you know, if you get him in the weight room and develop him, I think he's got a bright future for us.
How nice was it to get Kyle Allen another couple of quarters of
Yeah,
action as well?
a complete half, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of guys. It was good for Kyle to, you know, we left the offensive line in there. I mean, we took Seth out and moved Jarvis to tackle. And so, the you know, our offensive line was intact, really the first couple drives. So we wanted to get him with a good line and see him operate, and he did some good things. You know, you look at his whole half of football, which is great video, great experience for him. I think you look at the other side, and Justin Manning. There was a Justin Manning sighting today. Everybody's been on me, where is he? So, you know, I mean, he played a whole half. And he and Zakovian in there, and that's valuable for us because we would need those guys. And he was excited. He was back home. Had a little bit more pep in his step out there today. So, you know, those are the kind of positive things that came out today. And, you know, Jeremy Taboya, I think he'll be in my office Monday wanting to start, I guess. 2 catches for, what do you have, 80 yards and 2 touchdowns and 2 catches. So it's kind of hard to argue with him. You know, but those guys have a good time. They like playing. They like playing each other. And I said that earlier. I said this team's a little bit different in the fact that I see them genuinely happy for each other. You know, after the touchdown, here's Kenny back bumping Kyle just like the same way those guys do. That could easily go a different route. And when you have that many players, like the running backs are helping each other, the receivers are helping each other, the rotational line, I think that's, you know, that's, as a coach, when you start seeing that means you got a chance as a team.
Coach, did you know that you were ranked 27th all-time leading scorer in Tabernacle Presbyterian basketball history? You know what your average was?
No,
9.2.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, they celebrated their 90-year anniversary last week.
That was a long time
I
ago.
played a tab too.
You did?
Yes, I did play varsity, played football.
These people, they don't even know what you're talking about.
Couple more.
Kevin, your offense is clicking incredibly. Have you seen enough strides in your defense to think you can be a contender in the SEC?
I think, you know, I've said this, you know, in you know, in certain circles. I think we'll know about a lot more about us next week. Let's put it that way.
Next week you're going down the road to.
Is that fair? I mean, that's.
But what do you use?
I mean, they've done. Yeah. I mean, we've improved. We've got depth. I think our point total has come down significantly. You know, first game we cut some big plays loose. You know, Rice moved the ball against us, but didn't get on the scoreboard. We didn't get any turnovers. So, you know, the two areas that I talked about, you know, we've got to be better in our turnover ratio. And that's a team effort. That's offense, defense, and special teams that creates a turnover ratio, and we're negative right now. So, you know, that's something that we take pride in. We've got to be better there. But I think athletically, I think we're a different team defensively and depth-wise. Now, getting Sean Washington helps us. We get Jordan healthy. You know, we've got some guys that can, some moving parts, and, you know, the freshmen are not freshmen anymore. You know, we're a third of the season is over with. So guys like Armani Watts and you know, those types of guys are ready to roll now. And you know, we'll see next week. It'll be a good atmosphere, big-time atmosphere.
Nick play well?
Nick Harvey's playing really well. And so, you know, we'll get those guys going, and it'll be a SEC game at 2:30 in a big-time atmosphere. And so we'll know a lot more about ourselves next week this time than we do right now.
Those guys that all came back, Sean, even Cam, Devontae Harris, what were they like this week? How excited were they to get out there?
Well, Devontae, we didn't know he could play until really yesterday morning. So he got cleared by the doctor, and I was a little concerned. I didn't know how much of the defense he really knew. I told Coach Joseph, I said, well, when you put him in, you probably need to play man-to-man because he's so excited. That's all he's going to do anyway. But, you know, he's back home, and I think there's a little added excitement for him because being back in the Metroplex and wanting to play, he's played a lot of football for us. And so, you know, this week will be about getting his stamina up, about getting his conditioning up. I think some of these guys found out it's a lot harder out there. It was hot out there, and a lot of these guys found out it takes, you know, it's a little bit different than standing on the sideline waving a towel and yelling and screaming. You know, that Justin Manning and those guys played as many plays as they've ever played. So we had some cramps that we haven't had, but those cramps were coming out of the young guys because Deterra Alaka cramped up, a bunch of guys playing football that we're going to need. But getting Devontae back helps us, too, from an experience standpoint, no doubt. And gives us some flexibility at corner with Nick, with Victor Davis, and now and at nickel, because Burns has been playing pretty well at nickel.
Are you glad to be getting a field, off topic, not from you, but a new field back home? How excited are you about that they're taking that step?
Well, I think so. I think, you know, we haven't been out there since the game. So, you know, we got another 2 weeks, and you know, I worry every time when it was raining like crazy Thursday night. So, you know, I don't know what the steps are. We're not going to be on it until we play. So, but yeah, you bet.
Thank you.